Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, and I want to talk about the best use of his time right now. All right, so Vivek is he's caught in the orbit of President Donald Trump, like many organizations, like many people, like myself. Right? It all like literally the future of our country, in many ways, not in every way. I think there's still paths to success, but primarily the best way to get, America on track, America in a fundamentally useful structure, is to have Vivek Ramaswamy as president, and we can accomplish that through President Donald Trump. He's the best delivery system for a good president by far. Right? President Donald Trump is not a good president, but he is a very good delivery system for a good president, and that is Vivek Ramaswamy. So, what I want to talk about today, sorry, I try to get to the point as soon as I can, um, is I want to talk about the bridge destruction in Baltimore in March of 2024 and how Vivek can speak to that and actually help the Republican Party specifically in this very unique time in American history. So, so basically, let's talk about what happened, and then let's talk what I think Vivek Ramaswamy's next action should be in context to the bridge destruction in Baltimore in March of 2024. So what happened? So first of all, and this is my knowledge of what happened, and I'm just gonna, and I'm gonna give you, everything that I have learned to this point, and this is my understanding of it. And what I think is really interesting is, uh, I really think we're fundamentally reshaping news forever, right? What's happened is that institutions have literally like close to zero trust, right? Like people are like, oh, I'm not going to CNN for news. I'm not going to a Wall Street Journal for news. If I need news, I need somebody I can trust, right? And then increasingly, sources that don't have the resources that traditional media used to have, and quite frankly, I'm not sure they have it and they have it now, right? And even if they do have it, what are they using it for? Like nothing they can do get past the agenda of whatever they're dealing with. So I'm saying this is my understanding of it, and I think increasingly the best sources are like, this is my understanding of what's happening right at the moment. And just presenting what they know and then asking for correction, not saying, oh, hey, this is an authoritative source, because I think that's where we've landed, and this is part of this story. There's no authoritative sources left, right? So how do we get information and talk about subjects, right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. And I'll tell you right now, I think YouTube is a huge part of this, in that YouTube can allow each person to say, hey, I know this person, I trust this person, I'm going to get my information from this source, and everybody else can go kick rocks. I don't care what everybody else says. And I actually think that's pretty democratic and pretty useful, right? So, and it's really fascinating. It is a really fascinating time. So here's what happened. Okay, March 2024, 1:30 a.m. on one of the nights in March, a huge cargo ship, a international cargo ship, okay, not one from America, and that's not that unusual. Of course, a ship's going to be international because they go far. Like, a cargo ship is clearly going to come from somewhere else, right? You're not going to send, very few cargo ships go around America from California to New York. Like, it doesn't happen, right? So it's not suspicious that this was an international cargo ship, right? So this cargo ship is rolling out. It's rolling on the river, right? And it loses power, right? And it can't steer. When it loses power, it cannot steer, right? And it just slams right into one of the pylons for the bridge, and the bridge drops. And what's incredible is, because of the day we live in, there's camera footage everywhere, everywhere, right? So we see that. So by the morning time, we're all watching this real time, and we're like, wait a second, Why did this cargo ship just slam into a pylon? This should not have happened, right? And everybody's skeptical, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, there's some terrible reason this happened. And the reality is, I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think there was anything suspicious or skeptical that happened, right? What happened is here's where we're at. And I think we need to really start paying attention to our world, right? First of all, the stuff that used to work, it don't work anymore. The global supply chain is completely broken, right? Actually, I'm sorry, that's not correct. It's not completely broken. It is broken in some fundamental ways, right? And so just kind of basic things like helicopters. And let me back up. I guess a helicopter is not basic, right? But we used to take helicopters for granted. The helicopter goes up, helicopter comes down, no big deal, right? Well, that thing's made of thousands of parts, and those thousands of parts are made in a lot of different countries, right? Stuff's going to start breaking. A lot of stuff. Stuff is literally going to start dropping out of the sky in a lot of ways, right? And not for one company, for every company, right? We have had this global chain of trade for 50 years, right? And we've been building on it, and that right now, there is a straight up murderer, Vladimir Putin, just murdering people in the middle of Europe, right? Like, the global supply chain is fundamentally broke because we're all watching essentially a scaled down World War III, right? Everybody's like, what's the next war going to look like? You're looking at it, right? Ukrainians are buying missiles and using drones and putting those missiles on, or they're buying bombs and putting those bombs on jet skis and drone controlling those jet skis into like military Russian ships, right? Like, the stuff that's happening, and like, this has terrified the globe. And everybody keeps saying, oh, it's this. It's nothing but the Russians murdering Ukrainians every single day. The world is shocked and terrified, and they should be. Vladimir Putin is a fangs out, claws out monster villain. He's barely human. He barely qualifies as a human being, right? Like, he is horrific. He is a mass murderer, and we are all watching it in real time, right? And that has done more than enough to break down the global supply chain. People are like, are we 1 centimeter away from World War III? And the answer is yes. France is literally strongly considering, according to Peter Zayan, fantastic source. If you're watching me, please watch Zayan before you watch me. He's a better source, right? But Zayan is like, the French are looking at putting boots on the ground in Ukraine because they realize Russia ain't going to stop unless they are stopped, right? So the reality is, this cargo ship is using incredibly complicated systems which rely on a global supply chain, and increasingly things are going to start to break and people are going to die, period. And there's no conspiracy to it. It is all one person's responsibility. Ain't nothing changed but the date, okay? World War II, that whole kit and caboodle was one dude with a bad mustache, right? Cocking up everything for the entire world. We're right there. We're right there. Vladimir Putin is the second bad mustache guy, right? And this has got to stop, right? This has got to stop, right? And I think Vivek can come out and say, listen, and here's where Vivek's incredible value is so important, right? So why is Vivek important, right? So first of all, he's not a politician, right? He's an entrepreneur, right? Now, I am going to say, the second the 2024 U.S. presidential race is finished, he is a politician. And even right now, he's an unelected political elite, right? I don't like that. I don't like to say that, but that's reality. That's where we've landed, in my humble opinion, right? He's an unelected political elite, right? And the moment you dump in, you run for president, you start attaching scale, like a dragon has scales, you start attaching political scales to yourself, right? And so he is getting pretty political pretty fast. But, and that's not his problem. It's you can't run for president without being a political beast, right? Get ready, man. Your fur better be ready, right? So it's really fascinating. I think it's really fascinating that we've arrived in this place, right? And there was just so many swirling like conspiracy theories about this, bridge destruction, right? And I don't think there's nothing, no one did this on purpose. There were no dark actors in any of this, okay? And Vivek can come in and he is charismatic, confident, and intelligent. He is, get this, listen carefully. We're the Republicans, right? He's talent on the bench. Talent on the bench, right? It's important, right? And here's one of the things. The Democrats don't have talent on the bench. Literally, their talent goes zero deep, right? They're terrified of having Kamala Harris as president. Like, they know, like, as abominable as President Joseph Biden has been as a president, Kamala Harris is even worse, right? Like, it's, but Vivek is incredible talent on the Republican bench, right? And he can come in, and we need this on the Republican side because we got people who are scared. We got people who are older. We got people who love conspiracy theories, right? And the reality is, this got to stop, man. We need to back this out and say, listen carefully. There ain't no mystery, right? We got one guy murdering, demanding an entire nation murder everybody in another nation, right? It's terrifying. Vladimir Putin is murdering Ukrainians in the middle of Europe every day, and people are freaked the fabargle out. People are terrified, and they're not wrong to be. Like this, like we got a villain here. Like, this is a straight up super villain. I love Batman, right? Joker ain't nothing going on with Joker. Like, at the level, like, what he did was cute compared to what this guy's doing. This is a real supervillain in the middle of our world. That's where we landed, right? And so we need to start telling people, listen, the global supply chain is going to break down because we haven't stopped Vladimir Putin. He ain't going to stop until he's stopped, okay? And we keep giving great weapons, and we keep giving great. We're not even giving great weapons and great support anymore to Ukraine, right? Even that we stopped being able to do because we can't get anything from Congress, right? So the reality is, we got to realize, hey, if the kitchen's on fire, stop asking why it's hot. Vladimir Putin has to be stopped. Has to be stopped. Has to be stopped. That's where we are. I think Vivek needs to clarify this, and the reason why is we have a problem in our house, the Republican House. We are too in love with conspiracy theories, right? And this Baltimore Bridge thing was just a hotbed of it, and a lot of our own people were dipping their toe in this infectious pool, right? Like, infectious in that it will kill your intellect and your wisdom, right? All right, keep it tight, right? This is how Vivek should be spending his time, cleaning up messes like this. It ain't fun. It is political janitor work, right? But that dude needs to grind, man. You want the big crown? You got to work, right? Vivek Ramaswamy, I want to take a moment right now. I want to thank you for everything you've done. I really want to thank you for continuing to give us hope in what seems like an incredibly hopeless period. I really believe that Vivek Ramaswamy is our one path forward to have moral, awesome leadership in America again. And President Trump can help us get him there. Every single word you just heard me say is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion, you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.